I think our immune systems are just getting weaker, you know? I think they are. Unless you grow up in a city. I think if you grow up in a city, you have a stronger immune system, you know? Because you're just raised around, like, taxi cab fumes and rat piss and germs, you know? When I was living in New York, I saw a woman on the subway, which is a gross place, as I'm sure you've heard. And she was sitting on the subway car with this newborn baby on her knee, bouncing this loose baby on her knee. And I say loose baby because she didn't have the container you put them in. What do you call that? The baby cartridge, you know, the thing. The carriage. I don't have kids, whatever. She's bouncing this loose baby on her knee, and the baby's sucking on a pacifier. And the pacifier popped out of the baby's mouth and landed on the subway floor. I am not done yet. Luckily, this Good Samaritan, this very nice unhoused man, he picks it up by the sucky part and hands it back to the mom. And the mom, to sanitize the pacifier, puts it in her mouth. And then she gives it back to the baby. You can groan all you want, Providence, but we know that kid's not gonna grow up to be a little pussy-ass, gluten-free bitch, all right? So, that's the Mother of the Year award. How we doing, Providence? Good? Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Good to be back home in Rhode Island. Clap it up if you're from Rhode. Good. Very proud to be from this state. Our nickname is the Ocean State. That's a ballsy move, right? Just the smallest state in the country just up and claimed the largest surface on Earth. Anybody know our motto, our state motto? Hope. That's it, period. No, not even a full sentence. Just one word, vague, hope. Done. Hope. At least make it a little bit longer. Make it something specific to the state, you know, like hope the unemployment check comes in, or hope I get custody. Something specific to the state. Can you guys tell the product of divorce yet? Is that clear? I was raised by 2 alcoholic parents. 2? Yeah, okay. If you have 1, that'll lead to trauma. If you have 2, that'll lead to trying stand-up comedy, okay? Showbiz, baby. People are always like, don't forget about me when you're famous. And I'm like, don't forget about me when I'm homeless, okay? Both my parents were alcoholics. They divorced when I was young. And to this day, my mom likes to say that divorce was because of my dad's drinking, and my dad likes to say that his plan worked. And it did. When you're a kid, you don't know your parents are alcoholics. They just, you know, you just see them drinking, and you're like, oh, they're fun, you know? Like my mom, like she was like the, you know, emotional, reminiscing, kind of nostalgic drunk, you know? Like she loved memory. She lives in the past, you know? When my mom drank, she used to like stay awake till 2 o'clock in the morning on one of my school nights, you know, chain smoking in the living room. I have asthma. She doesn't give a shit. Just blasting John Denver's greatest hits in the living room. Headphones on, not plugged in. So she keeps turning it up because she thinks it's like low in the headphones. I'm like, Donna, enough. She loves photos. She would stay awake very late and just rip out all the photo albums and lay them on the living room floor. And she would pull out individual photos and then go to the kitchen and then put them up on the fridge. The fridge was just covered in photos. It was like yarn and thumbtacks away from looking like she's been trying to piece together an unsolved murder from the 70s. She's like trying to find the Zodiac killer on the refrigerator. I'm like, Mom, give it up. It's a cold case, all right? That's how I found out Santa wasn't real. Yeah. Here's what I would do. Every Christmas, I would leave Santa milk and cookies. But I did something different. I used to write Santa a Santa letter, like a question I would ask him. It would be like something silly, like, Dear Santa, why is Rudolph's nose red? And my mother, after a bottle of White Zinfandel, would use sloppy handwriting, misspell some of the words, and put some of the letters backwards. So my entire childhood, I was like, is Santa special needs? I don't know. That's what I was thinking. What else do I have to go off of, right? I was like, I guess it makes sense. Like, he's obsessed with toys and he only eats milk and cookies. I don't know. Maybe a brain injury? He's on a lot of slippery roofs? I don't know. Christmas morning, my mom's all hungover. She's like, Dougie, did you find out why Rudolph's nose is red? I'm like, well, I think Santa landed on his head coming down the chimney we don't have. And now he rides the short sleigh. What the hell is this? It's sticky and it smells like Kahlua. Is this you? I asked why Rudolph's nose is red. You wrote, because it fills with blood. What? Like an erection, Mom? Rudolph was just all horned up? Is that what it was? So the following year, she tried answering my Santa letter with clippings from newspapers and magazines like a ransom note. Bring the briefcase to the North Pole, the naughty bitch dies. To this day, my mom's texting looks like the Santa letter, right? She doesn't know how to text. She does the voice to text thing. Everything she texts is like these long-winded, emotional mom texts that are like half caps lock, half lowercase, no indentation, no spell check, weird emojis you've never seen before in your life. It's like she just smashed her head on the keyboard, honestly. That's what it looks like. One time, my sister and my mom were in a fight, and my mom calls me, and she was furious, and she's like, Douglas, your sister's not answering any of my texts. And I was like, first of all, that's a state. It's text messages, or texts for short. And I was like, second of all, stop texting her all these long-winded things, these novels. Like, she's probably annoyed by you, right? And then she's like, fine. And then she texts me right back and goes, never mind, she just responded. And I was like, all right, well, what did she say? And my mom goes, what does STFU mean? I responded, it stands for stay together forever, unconditionally. And she writes, I love that so much. And I was thinking, oh shit, what did I just do? I thought that was funny at the time, so I took a screenshot of that conversation and I posted that to Facebook, and she sees that photo of the screenshot explaining what STFU means, and she thinks it's like this tip of a cap to our love, like I was shouting it from the Facebook rooftops. And she comments on that photo, obviously. Douglas, my angel, my only son, XOXO, caps lock, STFU. That comment got like 85 likes, more than the original picture I posted. And the best part is she's been texting that to all my family members, you know? My aunt's like, you know, your mom told me to shut the fuck up when she invited me to the Christmas party. I'm like, well, nobody likes you, Aunt Debbie, so shut the fuck up, all right? My 87-year-old grandma is way more tech savvy than my mom. I was just visiting her last year in California, and she has Parkinson's, right? So she can't really move that well anymore. And she used to love going to church on Sundays, but now she just watches her Sunday Mass on YouTube. And she has this little like smart remote that she pushes this button, and she talks into it, and whatever she says pops up on YouTube. So after her Mass, what she would do is she would like YouTube a world city she's never been to and do like a walkthrough tour of the world city so she can feel like she's traveling there. Right? It's adorable. And she's like, Douglas, where do you want to travel to today? And I was like, I don't know, Mimi. How about Lisbon, Portugal? I've always wanted to go to Lisbon, Portugal. And she's like, okay, beep, Lisbon, Portugal. And then I go to the bathroom. I come back 5 minutes later. She's watching Lesbians in Portugal. And I think she was into it, honestly, a little bit. She was like, Douglas, is this where you want to go? I'm like, actually, yeah. Let's just stay away from Bangkok for a little while, Mimi, okay? Just pump the brakes on Bangkok. Yeah, she was like my maternal figure growing up, because like I said, both my parents drank. My dad was a different type of alcoholic. My dad was like fun drunk dad, you know? Like, I used to go over to his house on the weekends. I'd eat ice cream sundaes for dinner and watch Girls Gone Wild infomercials at night. It was great, you know? But then I got older and I started to see, like, how bad his alcoholism really was, you know? He was like a survivalist alcoholic, right? Like, for example, if he didn't have enough alcohol in the house to get drunk with, he wouldn't drink it. He would consider it a waste, right? That's a whole nother level. When you can drink like an Irish pirate, but you have the patience of a Buddhist monk, you know? I was like, Dad, you got 2 beers right there. He just turns, he's like, son, that's not enough. Now he's sober, though. He's sober. He's 13 years sober. I'm very proud of him. Yeah, thanks. I still drink, but that's fine. Thank you on his behalf. Yeah, my dad's in the AA program now, and he's in AA, and he's obsessed with going to meetings. He loves the AA meetings. He actually met his new girlfriend in AA, and for sentimental reasons, he said he wants to propose to her and have the wedding in the church where they first shared their first AA meeting. So I thought it'd be adorable if the whole wedding was just AA themed, you know? Everyone wears "Hello, my name is" stickers. It's in a room kind of like this, same energy right now. And when the bride walks down the aisle, she only has to take the 12 steps to get there. Thought that would be appropriate, right? At the altar, they don't have rings. They just exchange little chips, you know, that say like 10 years, tops. Or instead of "I do," they say "one day at a time." At the reception, right? I'm his best man, so I have to do the best man speech. But there's not gonna be any champagne glasses at an Alcoholics Anonymous wedding, so I have to do the toast. How am I supposed to get everyone's attention? I have to like find like a, you know, clink a plastic butter knife against a styrofoam coffee cup or something, right? Hi everyone, my name's Doug and I'm the best man. Hi, Doug. I'd like to make a toast to my father, a man who didn't have much money growing up, but still had enough money to teach me how to make a White Russian with straight vodka and powdered coffee creamer. A Bloody Mary with rubbing alcohol and ketchup packets. A man who taught me how to open my first beer bottle with a bottle opener that's on a keychain while it's still in his ignition. Stick around for the cutting of the wedding cake, which is just made up of a bunch of stale donuts over there on an unclothed fold-out table. Hey, DJ, spin the Serenity Prayer, son. All right, you're all invited. You're all invited. Well, look, I'm no saint. You know, I drink. I know it's in my blood. It's hereditary. I got to go easy. You know, sometimes you drink, you know, we can all like have a few drinks and it's fine and keep it under control. But sometimes, you know, there's signs that you got to cut back, you know. A few years ago, I went to a 4th of July cookout. And at this cookout, there was a bowl of Long Island iced tea. A bowl, yeah. And I drank roughly it. And later on in the evening, it was getting late, and there were some mosquitoes out, and there was some kids running around, and I thought I was doing something responsible, so I grabbed a bottle of bug spray, and I started spraying all these kids with bug spray, right, to protect them from whatever the mosquitoes were carrying. I thought I was doing something nice. One of the moms comes running up to me. She's like, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" And she slaps the can out of my hand. It turns out it was a can of Raid. Yeah. I was like, it looked like a can of Off. I'm sorry. I thought I was off. It was Yard Guard. It was the stuff you spray in the yard, strong enough to keep the insects from Jumanji away. She was pissed. She's like, "You just sprayed my kid in the face with Raid." I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I just sprayed all the kids in the face with Raid. Nobody got left out of this Raid parade. She's like, "Are you gonna call poison control? Because that stuff is deadly." I was like, "I think you need to calm down. Because it's getting late and now the mosquitoes are biting and now we're out of Yard Guard. I think what we should do is just lay all the kids around the perimeter of the yard to protect the adults." And I got kicked out of that cookout immediately. And received my very first public urination violation, thank you. But my case was dismissed. I don't know if you guys know this, public urination, only a crime for the indecent exposure, not the act of urinating. Old Dougie boy over here beat the system by publicly peeing in the privacy of my own pants. So, yeah, you can win and lose your dignity at the same time. If a cop comes up to you behind a dumpster somewhere and he's like, "What are you doing over there?" You could be like, "Obeying the law, officer." Just point to your soiled crotch. This isn't public urination, this is private urination. This is a private pants peeing party, a party pooping parade patrol officer. I alliterate very well when I'm drunk. Yeah. I woke up the next day. That was a rough day because I was like, my allergies were kicked in and like I was taking all this allergy medicine, right? The next day I woke up and I told my friend, I was like, "Dude, I blacked out. I don't know what happened last night. I think I got drugged." I was like, "I honestly think I got drugged." He's like, "Yeah, you drank a whole bowl of Long Island iced tea and 2 Claritin Ds. You drugged yourself." I was like, "Well, we don't need to point fingers here, okay? This is a cold case. This is Law and Order, cold and flu, all right?" I think I'd be a good dad, though. There's this children's secondhand store in Rhode Island. I think they're elsewhere, too. Maybe you guys have seen it. Very whimsical name, very creepy name. It's called Once Upon a Child. I don't know who's in charge of their marketing team, but whoa, okay. Once Upon a Child does not sound like a clothing store for children, okay? That sounds like a rehab center for pedophiles. "Hi, my name's Frank, and I was once upon a child." "Hi, Frank." Went to Walmart recently to buy a gift, and I went to the bathroom. I had to go to the bathroom when I was in this Walmart, and it was a very low point in my life. And I had to go to the bathroom, and the bathroom at Walmart is in the back near like the board game section. And I noticed something very interesting when I entered the restroom. On either side of the restroom entrance, there was like 2 displays of photographs, right? On one side was all the Walmart employees of the month. On the other side was a bunch of missing person posters. Which is like the saddest game of would you rather ever, right? Because some of those missing people could be alive and well in the Bahamas somewhere, but those other people are definitely still the employee of the month at Walmart, so. And look, I'm not making fun of missing people, obviously. I'm making fun of the wall near the bathroom at Walmart, right? That's a weird placement. There was like 35 missing people on this wall. I just went in there for a gift. That's a lot of pressure on me as a Walmart patron. That's a lot of people just to keep an eye out for, you know what I mean? There's a lot of information on all those posters, too. It's a lot. None of you have ever jotted down the information either, so don't pretend like you're better than me. It's like their height and their weight and their eye color and the hair color and then the missing since date. What does that do for me? All that did was make me stand there and look for the oldest missing since date, like it was a bottle of wine or something. I don't know. And I was impressed. I was like, ooh, 2009. Those are tough to find, yeah. Not usually full body, but I was in Walmart. I was getting a gift for my niece. She's 10 years old, and she's obsessed with the movie Annie, little redheaded orphan Annie, right? And for her birthday, I wanted to give her the DVD of Annie so she could have like a present to unwrap. So I went to the electronics section of Walmart to look for the movie, and this very nice sales associate, this black woman, comes up to me. This is important for the story. And she goes, "Can I help you, honey?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm looking for the movie Annie on DVD. Do you have that?" And she's like, "Well, which one do you want?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, we have the original version of Annie or the remake with the black Annie." I left with 2 copies of Annie, everybody. I was like, she loves every Annie. All Annies matter to her, so. I bought 2 Jamie Foxx versions. I would have bought more, but that's all they had. Guys, the black guy liked the joke. You can loosen up your buttholes a little bit, okay? Thank you, sir. I like movies. You guys like movies? I like horror movies. You guys like scary movies? Yeah. I love scary movies, but in my 30s, I watch scary movies now, and they just hit different. They're not as believable, right? Like, I just rewatched this movie I used to love. It's called Cabin in the Woods. If you've never seen Cabin in the Woods, let me explain. It's about 5 friends that go on a weekend camping trip to a cabin. Thank you. The spoiler alert, they're all murdered at the end. They're all murdered by like a bunch of robot zombies, a giant squid monster, and ghosts. By the end of the movie, I was like, yeah, right. There's no way that 5 friends have the same weekend off in this economy. How'd they all get the time approved off, you know? That's how they gotta get babysitters. Because that's my real life horror movie, is renting an Airbnb cabin in the woods for 5 of my friends, putting it all on my credit card, and then nobody shows up. That's terrifying. These are all problems that you have in your 30s. These are all the things that go through your head, you know? Like, I just had a birthday recently, and one of my friends was like, hey, Doug, what'd you do for your birthday? Did you get turned up? Did you get turned? Did you turn up? Did you get turned? I'm like, no. I don't get turned up, okay? I get tired. I get tired. I'm so tired. I don't get turned, okay? Maybe a second wind. Maybe I'll get a second wind after a nap. I don't get turned, though. You want to know what I did for my birthday? I turned off my bedroom light. I have asthma. I was feeling wheezy, so I turned on my nebulizer machine because I just turned 35 years old. That's what I did. Yeah, turned down for what? The night. I'm going to turn down for the night, I think. All right. I realized recently life is all about finding moments of joy every day, you know? And maybe your joy is seeing your dog when you come home from work. Maybe your version of joy is like, you know, seeing your kids get off the school bus in the afternoon. Or if you hate your kids, seeing them get on the school bus and drive away. But I don't have kids or pets. So my version of joy looks different. Like recently, I just found the back to my TV remote, that little plastic piece. And let me tell you, pure joy, everybody. You know that feeling of being like, I have been holding on to those batteries for so long. When I was younger, my joy was collecting action figures, and now I'm in my 30s, and I'm like collecting essential oils all of a sudden. What am I doing? Why are they essential? They're not essential oil. You don't need them to live. You know what's an essential oil? Motor oil. That's an essential oil. If my car runs out of motor oil, it combusts into flames. If I run out of lavender, I can't wind down at night, you know? There's a difference. I'm so bad with my motor. I never check my oil. I never check it. I'm so bad with cars. All my friends are like gearheads. They're all motorheads. They all talk about their cars. I'm always stuck in that car conversation where everyone goes around and talks about their car and what they did to it, you know? And then it gets to me and I have to contribute to this conversation now. They're like, yo, Doug, what you rolling in? I'm like, what am I rolling in? That's a 2001 Mitsubishi Galant 4-door. Rolly Downey windows. It's got those. Silver. No, Doug, what you got under the hood? Oh, under the hood, you ask? I'm sorry. Let me just find the mechanism here to open that. Here it is. Can you hold that for me? Thanks. I lost the swingy thingy. Yeah, no, nothing fancy. Everything's pretty stock except that bird's nest. Just got that installed. Oh, the oil on my dipstick hits that little notch, so I'm good for like 2 years or so, I think. Nobody ever taught me about cars, you know? My mom raised me by herself pretty much, so she was just like, her version of like mechanic help was like, Douglas, did you check your fluids? Did you check your fluids? She has no idea what the fluids are. She's like, did you check your fluids? Mom, my car's on fire. Well, you should have checked your fluids, Douglas, I'm telling you. My mom is, she's a year sober now. I'm proud of her. Yeah. Yeah. because a judge told her she had to be, or she would go back to jail. Yeah, that's right. So my mom had to do some time. She had to go to the clink for like 30 days. She made a mistake. I don't want to say what she went to jail for, but let's just say she likes to drive. And she didn't check her fluids. Too many fluids, honestly. When you're a comedian and your mother goes to jail, it is hilarious, okay? Because when you get a call from somebody from jail, it's not them that calls you like, hey, what's going on, right? When you get a call from somebody in prison, it's like an automated system you have to go through before you talk to your friend or your relative or whatever. So when I got the call, it was like, hello, this is the Rhode Island Correctional Center. You were receiving a call from an inmate by the name of Doug. It's Mott. To accept this call, press 9. To deny, press 3. I was like, 3, I don't need that right now. She had 1 second to record her name. She chose to have a full-blown panic attack. But that story has a happy ending. She's in a gang now, so it's fine. It's not really a gang, it's a group. It's a Facebook group she started in there. And now every time she called, like, she knew I wasn't gonna answer, so she would just like tell me what she needed in that little 1 second window, right? It'd be like, you were receiving a call from an inmate by the name of, need my vitamins. Gotta take your vitamins. I've been taking my vitamins. I'm trying to be healthier. It's insane, like, what we put on our bodies thinking it's healthy, Think about, like, 200 years ago, people thought they were doing things that were healthy, and now it's like they're bad, right? Like, think about medical technology. 200 years ago, doctors were treating people with forms of medicine they thought were, like, top of the line back then. And we look back and we think they're silly now, right? Like, 200 years ago, doctors were treating people by performing leeching and bloodletting. Bloodletting. Even when somebody died on the operating table or from the bloodletting, the doctors were still like, I don't know what happened. We let out like so much blood and he still died. We let out like all of his blood. This is a medical mystery. I'm boggled, frankly. I am the best bloodletter on this side of the Mississippi. That's gonna be the case in like 200 years from now. Things we do and eat now might turn out to be bad for us and kill us in the future. And those future people are gonna make fun of us. Be like, can you believe those idiots back in the 2000s didn't know that kale caused cancer? Yeah. That's why we now spell cancer with a K after the great kale cleanse of 2075. Wipe the earth clean of those pretentious assholes. Any married people here? All right, relax. All right, you're not that happy. Don't bullshit me. That's fine. If you're married, you're happily married, that's great. But just shut up about it, okay? Just be quietly in love and don't talk about it. There's another pandemic going on online. It's called the wedding day countdown photos, and these people need to die, okay? You know what I'm talking. Every time you go on social media, on Instagram, it's like 572 days till I get to marry my best friend. It's like, that's more than a year, Lauren. We don't need that. 245 days, 110 days till I get to marry my... Nope, even the people going to the wedding don't give a shit about those posts. They look at those countdown photos like it's the tax deadline. They're like, oh shit, that's next week? I don't have the money for that right now. And then finally the wedding day arrives and you're like, thank God I don't have to see those wedding day countdown photos anymore. And then 7 days later, it's like, happy 1 week anniversary to my best friend. And you're like, we're going up now? Remember when you're a kid in school, you find out there's negative numbers? You're like, there's more of these things? Like forever? That's all right. I'm dating now. Anybody, any single guys here? Single guys on the dating scene? Yeah? Are you? Are you on the dating apps? Yeah, that's okay. Everyone's on dating. This is how like conditioned dating apps have made our brains. Like I'll see like a pretty girl on the street or at a bar or something, and I'll just think like, man, really hope she pops up in my dating app, Instead of just saying hello. Do you put what you're looking for? What do you put that you're looking for? What are your goals? No, well, women, yeah, that's valid answer. That was a very vague question. Very progressive answer. I meant like your relationship goals, but a long-term relationship, and you're genuinely looking for a long-term relationship. He's lying. Right now, he's lying. Which one are you on? You're on all of them. Yeah, just diversify your portfolio, man. That's good. Do you put your goals, your dating goals on there? You do? What do you put that you're looking for?
Short-term, long-term.
Short-term, long-term? That's two different things. I'm very serious, but I just want to fuck. At the same time. That's good. That's honest. You're honest. You're an honest man. One of my friends, he's on dating apps, and he puts that he's looking for a life partner. No, I know damn well he's not. He just told me that you have to put that, or women won't entertain the conversation if they don't think you're serious. And he had the audacity to complain to me that women use too many filters on their photos on dating apps. And I was like, well, you're doing the same thing, buddy, right? Women might use filters on their photos. You're using filters over your intentions, okay? So, which is more deceptive, really? She might be using Valencia. You're using fucking sociopathia, all right? She might be trying to hide a few blemishes. You're hiding years of unpacked trauma that you haven't worked out yet. She might have the Snapchat dog filter, but you are the dog, buddy, all right? You're a dogfish. You're dogfishing her. Yeah. What's that, dogfish? It should be an app, right? Yeah. I had a bad date not too long ago, a very bad date, very awkward, you know? And I went on a date with one of these astrology kooks, right? And if you're a little bit into astrology, that's fine. But this girl on the date, on the first date, she brought tarot cards and energy crystals out of her purse on the first date. I'm all about laying the cards out, but not like this, okay? It's one of these girls that wanted to know everything about my birthday. She wanted to know like the month I was born, the day of the week I was born, the time I was born. She was like obsessed with the time, right? She's like, what time are you born? I was like, I don't know. She's like, you don't know what time you were born? I was like, if you give me a minute, I can give you an estimated time that my Uber will arrive. How about that? I was amazed she could read my birth chart, but not my body language, you know? She was like, you don't know what time you were born? I was like, it's probably on my birth certificate. She's like, well, where is that? I was like, it's at my mom's house, okay? My mom keeps the birth certificate, all right? I needed it recently. I called her. I'm like, do you have my birth certificate? She went like this, my mom. She went, Douglas, I kept the staples from the C-section. Of course I have your birth certificate. I was like, I didn't need to know that. She's like, what? It's in your baby box. I'm like, those came from your baby box. I don't need to know that. So I told this woman on the date that my birth certificate was at my mom's house. And I was like, what do you want me to call my mom right now? Ask her what time I was born? And she went like this. She went, ugh, typical guy, such a child. I was like, I'm the child? You brought picture cards and rocks. And I'm the child. Okay. First of all, I find it so hard to believe that the alignment of the stars when you're born dictates your whole personality. Like, you know, who you are as an individual. You know, like she was like, well, I'm a Libra. I'm a lucky Libra. Everything usually works out for me because I'm a lucky Libra. I'm like, no. You ever think that maybe everything works out for you, not because you're a lucky Libra, but maybe you were just born underneath the entitled white twat moon. How about that? Maybe it was the way you were raised. I was like, how is this day going so far? Is it going well? What are the cards showing? What do the rocks say? And she goes, I don't know, you're giving off bisexual preference energy. Bisexual preference energy. I was like, do you think that I'm attracted to men? And she goes, no, I think you're only attracted to women who are also attracted to other women. And I was like, how dare you? Nailed it. Good for you. Nail on the head. I am an ally. An ally I want to do is see you make out with her right now. Go. It was awkward at that point. I was like, so do you want kids? And she went like this when I asked her if she wanted kids. She went, if you must know, I'm freezing my eggs. I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Like, I want to have kids too one day. I don't know a lot about freezing eggs. What does that entail? She's like, first, it costs $1,000 to harvest the eggs from my ovaries. And she was talking about the money. I didn't even ask how much this stuff costs. She's like, then it costs $400 a month to keep them frozen. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure you can get like a climate-controlled storage unit for $100 a month. With a free month. And she did not find that funny. And I was just joking, and I was like, well, you do all right, so dinner's on you tonight, right? And she goes like that. She's like, excuse me? No, dinner's on you. I'm a strong, independent woman with a good job. I don't need a man to support me financially, but I still think you should show me a little chivalry. I was like, I think those eggs were already ice cold before they were frozen, so I think they're gonna be pretty chilly in there a little while longer, so bundle up, eggs. But that's what it's like dating. You meet a lot of the wrong people before you find the one right person. You know what I mean? You know? Like my ex-girlfriend, we dated for 3 years, right? And like towards the end of our relationship, she asked me the dreaded question. And I don't know if anybody has had this conversation. It's very uncomfortable. She goes, what's your body count? I didn't know this was a term. Did anybody know this was a term? Yeah? What does body count mean? It means how many people have you slept with, right? I didn't know that, okay? When I was growing up with 90s rap, your body count was how many people you've murdered. Indicated by how many teardrop tattoos you have. Now, body count means how many people you've slept with, indicated by how many lower back tattoos you have. And she asked me that, and I was like, didn't know how to respond. I was like, I don't know, I don't keep track, you know? I was like, why? Do you know your body count? How many people you've been with? And she went like this. She went, yeah, obviously, I keep a list on my phone. On her phone! She said, I keep a list, not I have a list. That implies it could be ongoing, okay? I didn't know that this was the thing. Like, some gals keep a list on their phone in their notes app. I didn't know that. And now I wanted to see this list. Psychologically, that messed with me. Now I want to see the list. I want to see how many names are on it. I want to see the people. I want to make sure that I'm the last name on that list. Right? And then I asked to see the list, and that was a bad idea. That made it worse. I shouldn't have done that. Don't do that. Because in my head, I thought it was going to be this professional spreadsheet list with like emergency contact information. No, it was not. It was like names and ratings. Yeah, didn't expect that. It was like Jeremy Hot Tub 9.5. Eric Eggplant Emoji 8.3. And then me, Doug. That's it. No fun name. No rating, no emoji. You know how sad it is to see the name Doug at the bottom of a sex list? It's very sad. It made me insecure, you know? And the girl I was with, my girlfriend at the time, she was very insecure as well. She actually suffered from body dysmorphia, which is when you have a distorted self-image of your own face or body. She was a beautiful woman, but when she looked in the mirror, she didn't see the same beautiful person I saw. She saw like an ugly person. And that concerned me because typically people date in the same league of attractiveness as each other. So I was like, well, shit, if she thinks she's a 4, what does that make me, you know? So then I developed body dysmorphia also. And now I'm trying to keep us both at a 4 so she doesn't leave me. She's like, when I look in the mirror, I see dark spots, a crooked nose, weird eyes. I feel crazy. I'm like, babe, you're not crazy. I see those things too, okay? And you forgot about dry skin. I love you so much. Please don't leave me. She was very insecure about her feminine region. Like, she wouldn't let me see it if it wasn't groomed, if you will. And like, I don't discriminate. You can shave, grow a full bush, whatever you want, but she wouldn't let me see it if it wasn't waxed. So one night I was like, hey, are we gonna, you know? And she's like, nope, not tonight. I haven't gotten waxed yet. I was like, well, I thought you just had a waxing appointment the other day. And she's like, well, I did. I went, and the girl told me that it wasn't ready yet. What? Some of the girls are laughing because they know what I'm talking about. Apparently the hair has to be a certain length before they can wax it. I didn't know that. So when she told me, she's like, it wasn't ready yet. I was like, is there a pubic hair groundhog that they bring out? Like, wax the Tony Phil's on his 5 o'clock pubic hair shadow. Looks like it's gonna be 2 more weeks of pubes, buddy, sorry. So out of solidarity, I went to go get waxed with her as well. And as soon as I walked in, I was like, is it long enough? She's like, yes and no. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? Which one? Wait a second. All right. She had a weird sensory sensitivity, my ex. She hated the texture of certain substances because she thought they were gross. Like she hated the texture of lube, right? Lube. She hated the feel of lube. I don't know why. She just thought it was gross. And look, lube is a good thing. We need it sometimes. It enhances the experience, right? Maybe the mood's not right. Maybe the temperature's off. Maybe you're dehydrated, you know? Sometimes you need it. You know, you've heard of cottonmouth. I don't know. It's got to have a name. Cotton clam? I don't know what it's called. Does it have a name? It gets drier than the desert. Cactus snatch, I call it from time to time. Yeah, cactus. You got cactus snatch because you didn't laugh hard enough at cotton cooch. That was a punishment. Cotton clam, whatever I said. I just suggested we use more lube just to enhance the experience. And she got all defensive. She's like, ew, no, that's gross. I don't want to use more lube. That's disgusting. That's gross. What's wrong with mine? She's like, what's wrong with my natural lube? What's wrong with my natural lube? What does it feel like? She's like, what does it feel like to you? And I panicked. I was like, you want to know what it feels like? It's like driving with the windshield wipers on when it's not raining. I can't keep spitting on my windshield, honey, okay? That's why windshield wiper fluid was invented. You gotta check your fluids, you know what I mean? You gotta check your fluids. See, that's the joke that keeps on giving, because you guys might get in your car tonight, maybe a year from now. You're gonna turn your windshield wipers on when it's not raining, and you're gonna think of a dry vagina, so you're welcome, Providence. My name is Doug Keith. Thank you so much. Thank you. You can also remember that joke by buying one of these sweet Check Your Fluids t-shirts right here. All right? They make great gifts for the kids during the holidays. They don't know what it means. It's a good reminder to check your fluids, and all the proceeds goes towards my mother's future bail fund. So